Erika's going to talk first and then more, yeah.
They will present themselves. You'll be excited by the people who pull you into those opportunities. That's a wonderful feeling. To trust others, to help you, to realize who you are.
Summer semester there in Cusco, working on catching.
I think it's also good, but I don't know internationally, so it's like this. But I want to
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Time to move on. New chapter. New chapter.
That's
New chapter.
yeah, they want our section is here.
Ready. Sorry.
Hi, say girl.
Is everybody here?
when they're raw, they're thinking and whatever.
Oh yeah.
It's unbelievable. Most people want to pose for the camera.
All right.
And then when you see these, they don't get a chance to take pictures and yeah.
I was telling you about the Army song of like the saints, you know what I mean? Like you're real, like you're right. The conversation is so perfect.
In the river, and we're like,
But senior seminar, and am lucky enough to work with the 2 students that are featured here and all the other shows that you've seen so far this semester. Today we have Erika Binkley and Lauren McKnight featured in these galleries. And we're going to start by hearing from Erika Binkley and then Lauren. They're just going to share a few things about their work and introduce themselves and their practice, and then we'll have a Q&A at the end that can be directed towards either one, right? So Erika will talk, then Lauren will talk, and then you can ask your questions at the end to either one. So just join me in welcoming those 2. Erika, if you want to come over here just so the camera can get you. Thank you. All right, thanks.
Hi, my name is Erika Binkley. Thank you all for coming. I really appreciate it. This show honestly started out as a reflection of like nostalgia, and I realized that was too broad of a term to really capture. And I ended up thinking about the word change, as well as placemaking. So a lot of this art is based around the kind of idea of noticing when things are changing. I think senior year is especially a time of reflection for that sort of like mentality. So a lot of these materials, or actually all of these materials, besides the prints, are from a deconstruction process that my family has been going through since around 2019. We've been salvaging a lot of the materials directly from my grandparents' old house. So all of the boards and rubbings are made from siding or like shingles and different materials built with construction. Yeah, a lot of this was just trying to capture the idea of noticing things. Yeah, I really am excited about how this turned out. I think that it speaks a lot to just the care that has been throughout this deconstruction process. Even while we're tearing things down, we're salvaging everything, and we're making sure that the history of the house is preserved, both in the new house and in our family projects. Nothing is going to waste, and everything has its place. I am very excited about this show. I'm not quite sure what else I have to say. I'm excited to answer any questions when we do the Q&A. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. So.
As you walk through my exhibition, it explores the emotional spectrum embedded in the world of sports moments of wins, losses, and everything that lingers in between. Drawing from my own experience as an athlete, particularly the heartbreak of losing my senior season, I aim to preserve the raw intensity of these fleeting moments. Each piece is a reflection of my connection to the game, not just a participant, but as an observer seeking to capture the truth of emotion where it lives most vividly. In motion, in silence, and in the in-between. Thank you.
Lauren, can you talk a little bit about your choice to focus not on yourself as an athlete, but like focusing really on mostly the football and basketball team? How did they become the focus of all of the imagery?
I think a lot of my friends are on the men's basketball team and football team, and they do show a lot of sport to me. And then also I obviously can't take pictures of myself playing basketball, so I enjoy photographing others, and I know that athletes, they care about their sport, but they enjoy the pictures. So it's also doing it for them.
So there's like a sense of it being like a gift or something you can give back to them by doing these images.
Yes.
your understanding of what you're doing?
Yeah. I think that I really wanted to not necessarily preserve things, but to highlight them. So it's not necessarily like, I don't know, each material has not necessarily been handled with like care, but it's been handled with intentionality. So like the paneling was chosen because it was kind of the nicer of the panels that were saved. And then I kind of put them in frames to elevate them and highlight them, not as necessarily creative art, but art that is still around, like it still holds value and deserves like a space to show that value. Same with the aluminum. The aluminum was just kind of like almost a happy accident, but it held such like memory and intentionality behind the like preserving of some materials and the discarding of others. All of the graphics were taken from pictures of either spaces or materials in the new house or in like other family homes. And those were also handled with like intentionality. So I think both with the materials and the graphics, I've said this a lot, but the word I would use is intentionality and trying to make sure that it's not just kind of sprawled out there. It's like made with a purpose and everything was made with a reason. That answers the question.
Yeah, Erica, I'm also curious because you have a lot of experimentation in different ways that happens in the work. In the process of the making it seems like there's a lot of different approaches and sort of like experimenting with, like how you see texture or thinking about these as like forms in motion or something, and then like the way layering happens in different pieces. So I'm curious, like this idea of intentionality, how you understand that, not as in contrast with experiment, but like how are you finding experiment can like take you to a sort of intentional outcome?
I think the rubbings, the graphics, and the sculpture specifically were all kind of started off as experiments. So the rubbings just kind of force you, like you can do them quickly, kind of, but they force you to sit in the same place and use the same thing over and over again repetitively. So it's more like, it is an experiment, but it's also, you have to be mindful of like how the lines are forming and like it shows itself as you're making it, and so you have to kind of work around that. The same thing kind of happened with the sculpture. Is I had a general idea of, like, I had this miniature house that I wanted to do, and I wanted it to be my grandparents' house, but it was through actually experimenting with, like, Q-tips and tissue and glue that I found the process that was best to make that. And then the graphics, I wanted to highlight shapes and textures of elements that I saw and wanted other people to kind of see. And so once again, it was the pulling of specific sections of the graphics and then the editing of what was actually in the piece itself. So all of the experiments, while they started off as like, I'm just going to try this out, they all ended up as I kept continuing with that process of being, I'm specifically doing this and I know exactly what I'm doing while I'm making them.
Yeah, so it had this like seed of experiment that turned into something really like process oriented, whereas really intentional. Cool. Great, thank you.
So Lauren, I have a question about how you choose your images, because I'm going to assume that you probably have a lot of photographs. So how did you decide which ones to sort of highlight, and also like what is your process when you're shooting? Like what do you look for? What sort of, how do you know that's the image?
I think when I first started off, I was kind of, not just clicking the click, but just like taking pictures of individuals or like my friends. And then as I started watching videos, I kind of learned about like close-ups and like even you can capture someone from a distance, but still like have it be focused on them. So that's kind of how I chose some of my images. And then for the image in the back, I didn't want to just be all athletes. I think something that we also had talked about was also capturing athletes outside of like their sport, and a lot of those individuals that are in that picture are athletes supporting each other. So I also wanted to capture that in a different form. And as far as picking them, my eye, and then I asked all my classmates as well what they kind of thought looked good to them, because I mean it could look good to me, but I also want everyone else to enjoy my work as well. You know, you can't please everybody, but that's kind of my process.
Because I mean, we've talked about this, but it gives so much emotion, like, to the people. It doesn't feel like it's just about the game or scoring or the excitement, but it really makes me think deeply about the players or what are they thinking or what's happening in that moment. So I think you're doing a really nice job of being able to capture that in your choices.
That's really interesting too, like, to go with that idea, like, when you started saying that the way you started photographing was just by clicking, right? Just clicking and like trying stuff out. And then your intuition probably got better. You became more skilled as a photographer. But then, like, what I think about is just how much that aligns with both the player's experience and the fans' experience. Like, your ability to improvise and your ability to have good intuition as an athlete. Like, you have the play, you know what you're supposed to be doing, but you have to kind of like be super present in the moment and be paying really close attention to where there's just a lucky break, right? And a lot of that just comes from actual practice, so that you know where to look for those things. And the players too, there's this like collective, like, you know when something is about to happen, like before it happens. Like, you know that something's building and it's either going to end in crushing disappointment or it's going to end in like incredible victory, right? And I feel like, do you think about that as a photographer too? Like, moving from player to spectator to photographer, like, do you find that kind of like ebb and flow and high and low kind of like line up as a player, spectator, and a photographer too?
Yes, I do. I think it helps, especially with, like, the basketball side. I don't want to say like we all run the same plays, but like you kind of can figure out what's gonna happen next.
Yeah.
And then like even watching my brother play football, I can kind of like have a little bit of knowledge, and then coming to the games as well. So
And be able to anticipate something.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that is also a really good skill as a photographer, just to know where to be and when, because something is about to happen. And like, some of it's luck, but some of it's just knowing how to be there, you know? So it's really exciting.
Erika, could you talk about your transparent prints and how those relate to the deconstruction of the house? Like, if they were the raw materials that you used, or what went into the process and how it relates to your overall theme?
Yeah. So the transparent was kind of it started off as an experiment just with what I could do with graphics and the designs and everything. So we started with test prints that can actually be seen on this pedestal. And I really enjoyed how they turned out. I thought they were really interesting and dynamic, and then that added an element of like an extra layer of like shadow play that could give the graphics not only like their space and the material that they're representing, but also in a gallery space, they give more dimension to them. And yeah, so it was more of like again, it was an experiment, not only with how I made the graphics, but how I presented the graphics. And yeah, it just kind of adds back into the intentionality of material used and graphics included.
I wanted to comment on something for both of you. It feels like relationships come out in your work. So, Erika, the idea that you have the relationship you have with your grandparents and portraying their house being taken down with as much care as it's constructed. And you even included one of your pieces in your relationship with them, Don't Forget I Love You. And Lauren, your relationship with your friends and bringing that to life for us in so many different ways. It's your devotion to them and it causes you to go shoot them. Talk a little bit, if you would, about the impact of relationships with your fellow students in the art department have been, and with your faculty members. members and what that's been to you and your life experience?
I met all my current friends on a random day. I didn't expect to see myself doing graphic design, majoring in that field, but I've created a lot of relationships. I think they're great people. I think it's also nice having people either in like the same field or like same passion. It also helps kind of hearing their feedback and everything.
My friends are very fun and supportive, and they always like help me get out of like funks when I'm in them, and just kind of go hang out, and it's lighthearted and it's really nice. And it's always nice to have like the support of faculty, which is like they always give feedback and provide like just really nice suggestions. And I know that the opportunity to have a gallery is not something that everybody gets, and I think the support of faculty and friends in the creation of the gallery is it's just been so important and really, really appreciated. Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
That's the new, this is the old office, that's right.